Benvenuti amici di Lago Film Fest, siamo qui oggi con Gabriel Böhmer, il regista di Push This Button If You Begin to Panic. Il corto è in competizione nella sezione Nuovi Segni e lo potrete vedere al Lago Film Fest dal 23 luglio al 1 di agosto, sia online che in loco. Welcome Gabriel, how are you?
Yeah, I'm very well. How are you?
I'm good. First of all, congratulations for the movie. It's wonderful. We're big fans here at the festival.
Thank you so
And
much.
and as for our first questions, if you want to talk a little about the project, about the movie in your own words, and a little about yourself, so for the people at home.
Yeah, sure. So for the people which haven't seen the film, it's an animation which is white on white, which is a bit unusual, and the idea for that came from an experience I had with a MRI scan, which is a medical scan, which is completely white on the inside, and it scans the body in layers, which is why the film is told in these white on white layers. And that was kind of the starting point for me to come up with the film, and just kind of was interested in meditating on what it means to be a patient, but also what it means to be a practitioner in a medical system that might be disparate. You know, there's different parts that need to speak to each other, but it's complicated, like much of life is. And then maybe one of the first things you'd notice about the film is that it's told in the frame of a head, which is kind of a play on the form of storytelling, but also came from the idea of the MRI, which is this scan which looks inside of your body. And so I thought, what better form to explore that than a film which kind of looks inside of you as well. Yeah. I think that hopefully is not too long.
No, it was perfect. And talking about the movie, you had a wonderful reception so far, even entering such prestigious festivals as Locarno, with Locarno Film Festival. And I wanted to a little bit talk about, the feeling of getting into the festivals, like in such prestigious festivals, even with all the struggles of the pandemic and everything. And I wanted to talk a little about what you felt, how did you feel about it, and everything regarding that sentiment.
Yeah, it's been very surprising in a way, especially to get into festivals that you've not played at before, and it's just kind of been a joy in a sense to see where it's going and to speak to different people. I think the thing that I like the most about playing at different festivals in different countries is seeing how culturally it can be interpreted in a different way. It's felt a bit surreal because usually you'd go to travel to these festivals. And so I have the idea that the film played at the festival, but I feel like I have no proof of it. So sometimes I feel like I'm probably imagining it. It can't
a big
actually.
prank about the movie.
Yeah, exactly. It's just like a further imagination, like in the film.
The pandemic really took a toll on these festivals, but hopefully this will be the last time we get these hiccups about the festivals, and hopefully we're gonna put it up there in the screen. So don't worry, I'll give you proof. I'll send you a picture.
That'd be amazing. I've never seen it on a cinema, for example.
Oh,
and that's a bizarre experience, working in short film. Yeah.
Oh well, we're happy to have that privilege. Then. And talking about, as you mentioned before, one of the fascinating details about the short movie is this almost all white color palette. Besides like little skits of black or gray, it's almost entirely white. So in a term, like in a more detailed and technical way, what was this? Was it a struggle? Was it difficult to work in a single color palette all the way into production, or it was a stimulating challenge?
I guess kind of a combination, because it was fun to have that challenge to be able to tell a story with shadows mostly, is the way I thought about it. And actually that was inspired by an artist called Ben Nicholson, who had these white on white relief pieces. And I realized that you're starting to focus on shadows instead of lines. And that seemed a fitting metaphor about talking about hidden illness. But yeah, on a day-to-day basis, it was also super challenging, because if you're just looking at white on white all the time, it kind of becomes that situation like if you're in a really snowy place, you begin seeing nothing. So it was tough on the eyes, and then also everything was very small. I have a few examples for you. So this is our main character walking, and so it was quite painful to do. And then this was the worst thing ever. I don't know why I did this to myself, but this is a ladder. So that was very difficult to cut out the little bits in between.
Okay,
so
yeah.
I'm sure I've lost about a decade's worth of eyesight doing this. I won't be doing it again. But it was fun, but also terrifying, because I never knew if people would be able to focus on it properly. Fingers crossed they are able to.
No. The short movie is really, it's amazing the way, and actually it kind of links to another question I had. So you're basically confirming that it was all playing 2D in a traditional way, an animation style, right? There was no mixture. There was
a bit of I'd say it's like 90% just traditional. But then there was a bit of digital compositing, so I could, move something here and I could move something here separate times, and that also allowed me to clean things up a bit. It gets surprising how much dust that you don't see ends up in the picture, and so by doing the digital compositing, I could take out some of those bits, and I could move different things at different times.
Yeah, because I wasn't 100% sure, but because the short movie feels completely like it's almost an illusion, because you really get the feeling that it's completely 2D, and it was interesting to know if there was some digital 3D involvement in the process. So that was illuminating to know. And speaking about that, you're the versatile artist. You paint, you draw, you animate, you even compose the music for the movie. So, talking specifically about the animation part of your career, do you think it was? How do you feel about the common debate about 2D and digital animation? Do you feel like you wanted to do 2D because you feel most true to that process, or was it just about a stylistic choice for the subject matter, or none of that, and it was just?
I think maybe for myself personally, it would depend on the project, and with this project, having the tactileness was really important. Just being able to feel the real textures and all of that. But I wouldn't personally be against doing something digitally at some point, and I love some digital animations, but I think it has to fit the story in a sense,
Right.
if that makes
almost
if clear.
As in like a comparison would be like in traditional cinema using film against digital cameras, basically.
Right. I would find it maybe a bit strange to have a film which is set in the 1800s and shoot it digitally. Then the chemical process of film would make more sense to me.
Okay. Yeah, I actually agree 100%. Yes. So, well, we're reaching the final part of the interview, and what I actually wanted to ask is basically about yourself. What is the next step? What do you feel is the next step after this project? What do you feel you'll be in the future, and what are your plans for your future career? You think you're still pursuing cinema animation, or you kind of want to now space out into maybe only music? Basically, what do you feel you'll be going next?
I think, as you mentioned before, I wear a few different hats, so I do quite like doing music and the art and all that stuff, and it almost feels like short film is the modern opera or something. And so I think I'll keep enjoying the idea of doing all those things. And I have a project that I'm working on now, which is going to be 3 short films that kind of link up together and maybe make a feature film. Maybe it'll be a little series or something. And that's going to be partially based technique-wise on this previous film, where I feel like the cutout technique is speaking to me in a way, and I'd like to keep pursuing that.
Okay.
So I'll keep doing that, and then hopefully writing some music for it as well.
Okay, well, perfect. It was a real pleasure talking to you about Push This Button If You Begin to Panic. Noi ricordiamo gli spettatori a casa che Push This Button If You Begin to Panic è in competizione nella categoria Nuovi Segni di Lago Film Fest dal 23 luglio al 1 agosto. So Gabriel, again, it was a real pleasure talking with you, and it will be a pleasure. And it will be a pleasure to finally project the movie on a big screen. And again, I'll send you a picture. We will do it for real.
Amazing.
Okay. Bye. It was a goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Hope to see you soon.
Perfect.